Hello guys, Eliza from ConversionWise here, and welcome to a free audit session. So as always, before I jump into this session, I do have a couple of announcements. If you are currently joining us in YouTube and you're new here, firstly, welcome to our channel. And if you are not a member of our Facebook group, then you'll find a link underneath this video. Make sure you click Ask to Join. It's completely free. And in here, you're going to find loads of useful tips and tricks. Just a really great community where we share ideas, thoughts, all of our kind of content comes in here. You can get free audits and all that good stuff that goes along with conversion design. And guys, for those of you who are currently watching us from the community and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're always trying to drop fresh content in here for you guys, and don't forget to click the notification bell. So for those of you that haven't been here before, what I'm about to do is I'm taking 4 pages from links that people have been dropping into the community over the last week or so, and I'm going to look through these properly for the first time today. I'm going to run through and I'm going to offer some really practical areas of feedback, tweaks that can be made in order to increase your conversion rate. Now, we always get amazing results from these sessions, so I always get kind of excited when we do these. Now, it can seem a bit brutal in places, but honestly, if you go away and implement just a few of these things to your site, you should see a positive uplift. Now, with me, as always, I have got my 2 trusty tools, the first one being tools.pingdom.com. This is just going to show me the speed that your pages are loading at, because ultimately page speed is a critical conversion factor. I also have builtwith.com with me. Now I've just dropped the first link into here. And this is just going to tell me what you guys are using to create your pages or sites, whatever that may be, whether in this case it's Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce. This is going to let me know. Now, again, for those of you that haven't been here before, what's going to happen is we work to conversion design principles. Now, first and foremost, one of the main ones that we advocate is the AIDA principle. Again, for those of you that don't know, apologies for those that do. The AIDA principle means that above the fold here, so before you need to scroll any further, you are going to capture your consumer's attention. As we go through your page, you should then start to pique their interest with your engaging content. You're then going to create desire and end on an action. So that's the A, the I, the D, and the A. So first and foremost, that needs to be applied to all pages. Then there's those additional extra bits which take it to the next level. So I've dropped the first one in here. As you can see, I've already mentioned that. So we've got a load speed of 3.07 seconds. For a Shopify store, that is not horrendous, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Yes, there's definitely some things to be done. You can optimize that further. And don't forget, guys, a 1 second decrease in your load speed can lead to a 7 to 10% plus increase in your conversion rate. So well worth considering. So let's go into the first page. Now, as I mentioned, we're looking at the AIDA principle. But within that, above the fold, what I should be seeing are 5 key elements. So that's your product imagery, or your imagery full stop, whether it's a service or a product, your value proposition, stroke headline, call to action, trust, and social proof. So the imagery here is really sweet. I like the imagery. It shows the product off nicely. I understand why you have this displayed like this. I feel like it could be neater, but it's probably a restriction within your theme as to why this is all stacked. When it comes to headlines, guys, now we understand that it is a descriptive title because, you know, that's how it is searched for, SEO, all of that kind of good stuff. However, always try to incorporate some form of emotive language or key benefit into your headline. Now, this is a gift box, so ultimately this is a treat of some description, so you can get some more emotive kind of terminology in there. What I would say, to be honest, is that this toolbar, this can be used to pull out on those seasonal offers, fear of missing out, all that kind of good stuff. It kind of just blends into the top. It's a little bit too faint. I get it's the branding colors, but try and make sure that whatever's in here is absolutely popping from the page. Now, you can use a little emoji to kind of call out offers, all kinds of good stuff. Probably, if this was mine, I would locate the I would left align the logo and just keep this section a little bit clear, just because it can look a little bit busy in places, but it's really nice branding. So what we've got here is pricing. There's no savings to be had here from what I can see. If you have any, always make them super clear to your consumer. Everybody likes to feel that they are getting some form of deal. You need to incorporate social proof up here. It is a key conversion principle. So we need to see the star rating up here at the very, very least. Ideally, you'd probably have had a review in there as well, but at the minimum for this type of page, that needs to be up here. The call to action, you've got it within a scroll, which is perfectly acceptable. It does stand out because it's black against white. However, always think about using sort of vibrant contrasting colors, just because it draws people's eyes and makes them want to take that action. The thing that's missing here is any form of trust icon. So do make sure that you get your payment icons here. They do not need to be bigger than the size of the button. Keep them clean, keep them neat, and have those supporting your call to action. You're asking for someone's money, so it's super crucial that you get that in there. I like the way you've got, you're trying to create some sort of making me take an action, almost fear of missing out, because you've got this week only. I just think you could probably present that a little bit better. In terms of creating scarcity, you can have things up here like the in stock button, or you could have the, you've got 10 left, but there's 18 people viewing this right now. So there's ways of really ramping up that scarcity without it simply being a line of red text. Now, as we go down, should be piquing my interest. Obviously, this is within the realms of your theme. So we have this scroller, and you go into some of the content. You have FAQs in a drop down, ask a question, and these. Right. If you take nothing else from this audit, and I do mean nothing else, please, please, please go away and take this away from this location. This is one of the worst traffic leaks distractions you can possibly have on your product page. I'm not saying don't have it, but have it in your banner or have it in your footer. You do not want to have this so close to your call to action. In fact, you really just don't want it on the page here, to be perfectly honest, because what happens, I get it, it's brand awareness. People will click off here, and then the chances are they may not come back. So especially if you're driving traffic to these pages. I love that you've got an FAQ on here. Ideally, this would have come much further down the page, but it's really great to see that you've got these on here. I think we just need to think about that structure that we discussed. So first and foremost, capture their attention, then pique their interest with your content. Try and get your content to be as emotive as you can rather than just lists. Make sure that you are pulling out on any sort of emotive language. Love the fact that you've got a couple of reviews here. What I would say is these have the potential to not look legitimate for the simple fact that they don't have an image to go along with them. So wherever possible, you do need to get an authentic looking image to go across. So not stock, not model, nice and authentic. Recent reviews is a little bit flat as well. I think you could get a little bit more emotive with your headlines here. And again, location, it's just not quite in the right location. I love the fact that you've got this tree planted thing. It's a very, very popular concept. It's really nice that you guys are doing that. If you're trying to push people into finding out more, you'll need to ramp up that call to action. Really nice that you've got hassle-free ordering. What you guys could benefit from would be a process step. So somewhere along here, you would utilize the space from left to right. You would have one, choose your bundle, your box, however you want to propose that. 2, we will get it to you directly in such and such a time. 3, you'll benefit from having this awesome gift box in your life. So break it down for your consumer, show them what's actually going to happen. I think the content is very nice, but you should have some repeat calls to action as you go through the page. They came here for a reason. Give people the opportunity to actually purchase this product. And I would reorder slightly. So I would go with your attention, your hero section, then go in with your content, then go in with your dedicated review section. Obviously, you've got an app here, so we've got some nice authentic images here. Then get your FAQ out onto the page if you can around here, and then you want to end on an action. So here we've got some you may also likes, and then we go through to some different kind of collections. So as you can see, there's a few tweaks and points there that you guys should hopefully be able to go away, implement, and see an uplift in your conversion rate. So let's go through to the next one. I'm doing this a very old school way with my mouse, so apologies. And let's have a look in here. Okay, so I know that it was men's fashion, I'm guessing. Another Shopify site. And in terms of speed, let's just let that run. Now, guys, if you want to get yourselves a free audit, all you'll need to do is be a member of our community. So what happens is we'll drop a post in there, and you'll be able to drop the link of the page you'd like to get audited. Now, if you don't see your page here today, don't worry, there will be another video dropping. I had a fair few links, so yeah, lots to get through. Okay, so another Shopify store, slightly quicker, and the load speeds, this is looking more promising, 2.56. Let's go into the page. Now, this is a home page. So when you think about the pages, the different pages and the principles, every page has a slightly different purpose. So a homepage, typically speaking, is to essentially be the window of your store. You're trying to funnel them into a specific action and take them to the purchase on the site. But that being said, whilst it's not as a hard sell, you absolutely still need to follow those same principles. So off the get-go, your value proposition, premium clothing for men. It's quite matter of fact. Again, I feel like you could have a stronger value proposition. Your call to action could stand out a little bit more, to be honest. I think you could go a little bit more vibrant. I love the fact that you've got Trustpilot. Trustpilot is a great star rating to have for conversion. What I would suggest is that you get the actual stars on here, not just the single star. So make sure you've got it all on there. Trust icons as well. You need to get some trust icons up here. Now there's, I think, because I just looked at this one just now, you had some here. So these actually count as trust icons on your kind of homepage. You can have almost like what's almost like a faux banner here with just those icons in to help present trust the moment that we land. The other thing is maybe you've been featured somewhere or someone's like, used your clothing. Try and get that onto this section as well. Now, as we go down, you go straight into new arrivals. So things like bestsellers, sales, they're always good to have prominent on a fashion homepage off the get-go. What I would say, make sure you get your star rating associated with each of these products. So it's fine that you go into new arrivals. View more, your call to action does not stand out at all. It is almost invisible. Really think about making that harder, the color nice and vibrant, and back it up with the supporting buffer. And by that, I mean your star rating and or payment icons. But on the homepage, I'd recommend your star rating goes in here. Now, these tiles could be presented way stronger. There's too much white space. I could see that there is actually what looks like a slight button here, but these do not stand out for the right reason. So make sure you get a nice clear call to action on there. Make these tiles super sharp and really make that pop from the page. More products into these trust icons. I love the fact that you've got these. It's good that you're repeating them here. Ideally, we'd get that information a lot higher on the page. Obviously, we then have a video and down into FAQs and end on an action. So what you are missing entirely from this page is a dedicated social proof section. It's absolutely imperative you get that on this page. So you need to have a minimum of 3 reviews on the page. Now you can hard code these in so that they don't pull down your load speed. You don't want to load an app on your homepage. So hard code them in. And again, make sure that they are authentic, that they have the imagery, they have the star rating and the person's name. And then you would have a repeat CTA after those. It would be nice potentially if you guys gave a little bit more content about who you are as a brand. You can have a little bit of content about your story or something within your homepage, because after all, this is the window to your brand or your site. So really cool if you had a tiny bit of additional content in there as well. Like I say, get that social proof section in here. Love that you've got frequently asked questions. Again, you just need to ramp up your call to action color for sure. Okay, so let's go on to the next page. We're flying through these today. So what do we have here? This looks like some sort of sales page. Okay. Now, guys, you probably know, but if you're new here, you might not know. But if you want to learn how to create high converting pages yourself, so if you want to learn how to design them, you know, what should go into them, what copywriting, all of that good stuff, then we do actually have our own course, which you can learn everything that we know, basically. So feel free to check that out. Let's see what we've got here. This looks slightly different. HTML. Okay, so this looks like a HTML page. So I'm hoping that the speed is brilliant. Oh. Okay, so I don't know why I'm testing from Asia, Japan. Okay, so the load speed on this is really heavy. Like this, before you consider anything else, you need to look at the performance issues with this page, because this will literally be crushing your conversion rate. So definitely something to think about. Let me see, what have you got? You've got videos. I mean, there's only 2 videos. It should not be that bad. So make sure that these are super compressed. Make sure that your imagery is compressed. Make sure there's no random code dragging this down. So definitely take a look at that. Now, I wondered if this was just only optimized for mobile view, because we've got some issues here for sure. But, you know, guys, you need to think, so mobile view is mega important. The principles remain the same. It's just about your padding and making sure that you have all of that key content in there, but the principles remain the same. So let's look at this. So as a hero section, what I would say is it needs some work. As I mentioned, we need to see these 5 key things. So first of all, value proposition, the ultimate automation platform for coaches, consultants, and course creators. You're telling me that it's great, but you're not telling me what's in it for me within your headline. What's the key benefit to this particular platform? You need to consider that and get it into that headline. So think of a strong value proposition. Definitely think about retweaking that. The video looks a little bit lost here. You know, we've got white space on white space. Make sure it's nice and bordered. So, you know, it just looks a little bit lost. So try and keep that a little bit tidier. The call to action, obviously, it's part of your color palette, but what I would suggest is maybe you consider changing it, because you have a lot of these colors. We have no social proof here. There's no trust proof here. These are all key things that absolutely need to be incorporated. So if this were mine, I would pull this content down. I would have a new headline, maybe bullet out a couple of these points, have a way stronger, more vibrant kind of call to action. You need some payment icons here. You're asking me for money. I know you've got a free trial, but this is a sales page. And also you need to see a star rating. And of course, you could get a review up here as well. You then go into telling me what this is about, as obviously we've got videos. Videos are great for content, as long as they're to the point and brilliant. But again, just make sure, you know, we've got some formatting issues here. This call to action, I clicked it just now and it didn't work. So do check on that as well. But again, you know, these calls to action, try and keep your calls to action absolutely consistent throughout your page. That way it avoids confusion for the consumer. Also, then, you know, there's less options for them to take. They're more inclined to take that action if they think each call to action is taking them to the same place. So you're telling me who this platform is for. You give me some of the content. Again, you're going to do unlimited. Okay, so it's quite features driven. What I would say is there's a lot of features here. There's nothing wrong with having features. We need to know the features. However, we need to fuse those with benefits. So, you know, always think about this. You know, at the end of the day, this is going to make people money. This is going to save people time. And I'm not getting that feeling from this. So make sure that you incorporate that within your text. Also, try and keep it a bit simple. It's a little bit busy in its flow. With these sections, love this kind of left to right thing. I always think it's very easy for a consumer to read, but we need to have some repeat CTAs because we go a long time without actually having a CTA. We then go down into your pricing structure. So again, we are completely missing a social proof section. It's absolutely imperative that you get this on the page itself. As said before, minimum of 3, make sure they're on there, and add a call to action after them. Then you go down, ideally you would have gone into your FAQ section and then gone into your kind of pricing. Again, pricing, very, very, very flat, matter of fact, to the point. Think about having emotive headlines wherever you can. Now, what I like is you've tried to make the pro account stand out a bit more. So I like the fact that you've done that. But again, the calls to action, ideally, you're going to have this all incorporated within the bundle itself. You 100% need to get the payment icons here. I know there's a 14-day free trial, but some people will purchase. So you need to make sure that you have those payment icons there. You need to show us what we're kind of saving, the value we're getting, and of course, social proof. Then we get down into features, a cute little section, but way too far down, should have been up higher. And then we're down into the final action. I like the fact that you end on an action, but again, it just blends into the rest of the page. It doesn't stand out. This padding is way too close to each other. It's almost like it got a little bit squashed at the bottom of the page. So again, guys, apologies if it seems brutal, but the points that we make are all here to help you to skyrocket your conversion rates. So let's go, oh my goodness, the final page and see what's going on here. Fitness, weight loss and hopes. Okay. So guys, if you have any questions or, basically if you have any questions, you can always feel free to hit me up on Messenger, or you can hit us back up in the group. So there's loads of ways for you to contact. I'll also pop my booking link underneath if you want to have a chat. But yeah, whatever you do, make sure that you join our group and also that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that way you won't miss out on any of the latest news. So what have we got here? Vimeo, another HTML, and what's the speed like? Wrong page. Apologies. I don't know what I'm doing here. For some reason, it's not working. Let me just drop that in. My computer's on a go slow. Let's try that. There we go. So we'll let that run. Okay, so whilst we let that run, I'll just crack on with the page itself. So let's see what this is. Fitness, hopes, weight loss and fitness. Okay, so I haven't gone through these pages. But I did have a very brief look at this just now when I was setting this up. And I'm going to be brutally honest and say that this is a very confusing homepage. It's just very, very confusing. So I think the purpose of this site, the goal of this page is not very clear. Now, because of that, it makes it a little bit hard to audit, just because, like I say, the purpose is not overly clear. It says that, obviously, you say that this is a blog site, so obviously it's a content site. And again, even though it's like a blog site, you'd still need to follow those principles. But also, we've got lots of different kind of things going on up here. I think this just needs reworking slightly. So again, the banner between here and here is way too large. The way that this is kind of aligned, it doesn't sit well within the eye. We have too much going on down this side. There's no social proof here. There's no value proposition whatsoever here. Literally, I'm sorry to be so harsh. But, just telling me that this is home, it's not doing you any favors. So you still need to think about those key things. You want to engage people into the site. You want to pull people deeper into it. Therefore, make it very clear what it is that's actually expected of me. So give some form of value proposition about what this is. Give me some form of call to action. Get some social proof on here. Make sure you've got those key kind of components. We've got one 1.5 sentences and you're pushing me off into another page. I have no idea what's going on with this page. So again, you know, this is going to seem really harsh. But this to me doesn't make too much sense. So whilst this might seem a little bit of a pointless audit, it is not, because blog sites are great. But blog sites still have a purpose, and that is to pull people in, obviously with the SEO and pushing across these articles. But ultimately, this needs cleaning up. So I would recommend that firstly, you decrease this banner size, get a value proposition in here. This search bar, I don't understand why this is halfway down the page. The search bar should be up at the top here. You can have some nice little reviews up here of people that have gone through. Then you can lead them off into their articles. You can have a little bit of content here explaining what's going on. You know, what is this May to November? What am I actually going to find here? Because again, these are literally just dates. So I think with a page like this, you just need to consider the purpose, consider the goal, and then work backwards from there, thinking, right, would a consumer understand that this is what I want from them? If they don't, then, you know, you need to rethink. Get someone else to look at it and say, you know, what do you think? You know, does this make sense to you? And take a look at it that way. So there's not too much for me to audit here, in all honesty. Again, you know, there's no trust here. I know you're not asking me for money or anything like that at this point. But, you know, you still want to portray trust and make this look a little bit slicker all round. So let me just look at the speed of this. It's very interesting. Yeah, again, so we're looking at 5.65. That is very heavy load speed. I'm guessing you've got absolutely stacks of content. I'm just going to cheat and have a look at another page. If I know what your services are, it might be that the goal is more understandable. Okay, SEO content writing. So this doesn't fit at all. Apologies. So your homepage and then taking me to your services page, I would have had no idea that this is a service that you are trying to portray, trying to lead me towards. This looks like a completely different site to the homepage that I just saw. So I would radically rethink that whole homepage to make it very clear what it is to your consumers that you actually are and what you are offering. And again, for this page, even, you know, you need to have some kind of payment icons to show, you know, because you're asking potentially for money. You need to get some social proof in here. I think you might have had some actually. Yeah, some social proof here. So this is cool. Make sure you get some images to go with it. Get an FAQ section on there, and end with some nice clear calls to action. So there's a lot to be done on this one. Like I said, a little bit confusing. Sorry, I got a bit spun out, but if I get confused, others will get confused. So it's well worth taking on board. Anyway, I have waffled on for absolutely ages. I hope you guys have found some useful pointers in here. Don't forget, if you're not a member of our Facebook community, click the link below, ask to join, and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'll drop a link below so you can take a little look at our course. And if you connect with me, I might also offer an exclusive little discount code. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.